everybody, and welcome to a special JoyClicks prediction special. My name's Christian Buckley, here talking one of my favorite things to talk about on the internet, Nintendo, specifically Nintendo Directs. If you've been around on JoyClicks for a while now, you might remember last year there were a series of videos that went up, including a reaction and prediction video, including a trio made up of myself, Charlie Wackles, and Omar Nakvi, a Triforce, if you will. And we have gotten the band back together. The Triforce is in all the right places. Link went out into the ocean and connected everything once again. How we doing? How we feeling? Are we excited about Nintendo this year? No. Okay. Yeah. We're feeling the room.
I guess I don't know. I'm excited because I'm always excited about Nintendo, and I feel like they, at least in the past few years, have had the best show around this time of year.
Yeah.
Like, maybe, probably, but I don't know. I also think that they're just like the weirdest. And even when the shows are not good or are very strange or have everything coming from left field, they always have at least a few exciting things, and they're also always well paced. So from that standpoint, from like just a presentational aspect, I'm very excited.
Yeah, there's a few games I'm looking forward to hearing about. But in terms of like getting wildly excited and hyped for crazy stuff, I can't really think of much. But I'm excited for a couple updates, especially an update on one product I am worried about that I hope just looks better this time. I'm talking about Bayonetta 3, not to jump ahead, but holy God, I hope it looks awesome this time. That's it, yeah.
Yeah, so we got a bit of a run of a show lined up. Nothing that has to be followed in a specific order for the panel looking at this Word document or Google Doc. But for listeners, Nintendo has not yet announced their summer showcase, whenever it's going to be. However, as of, I think, last night, Alana Pierce, Sony employee, works at Sony Santa Monica now, previously of IGN and Funhouse and a bunch of other places, said that she's heard June 29th is the date of the Nintendo Direct. And
we're recording this in like April 14th, right?
Yeah, this is way in the past. Very excited for that Jeff Keighley show, I'll tell you that right now, or that might be the highlight.
I'm excited too. I can't wait to see Hideo Kojima's next game.
Yeah, it's going to be great. But yeah, June 29th, later than normal. Charlie,
That's
I know
my
last
birthday.
year... Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah, I'm super fucking excited. If that turns out, it's gonna be very, very big day for me.
Hell yeah.
Mostly because of the Direct, not really because of my birthday.
Yeah.
That's important.
Is that a Wednesday or is that a Thursday? Like the people were speculating if it was going to be this week.
Let me check. Wednesday.
Okay. So
I think last year's show was on a Wednesday, wasn't it, for E3?
I think it was, because ever since 2020 stopped everything, Nintendo, I feel like, has been bouncing around whatever they feel like doing. And I do think it was a Wednesday last year. But, yeah, June 29th, later than normal. But, Omar, we were talking earlier today. You think that part of this might be they just want distance from Summer Game Fest?
I didn't come up with that, but that sounds right to me. I think it's a weird branding in general. And, like, they've already... With E3 kind of dissolving, they have no reason to be clumped in there in that 1 week anymore. It just makes sense to spread it out a bit. Like, honestly, I'm surprised they even want a June showcase still. But, yeah.
I'm kind of in line with that. I guess to me, the June showcase timing makes sense if they want to announce and properly market a holiday game. I think once you get out of June, you start losing time on Splatoon 3 marketing. You start losing time on whatever the hell is coming out in November aside from Pokemon. You start losing time on, if you end up releasing Advance Wars. So to me, I think, it makes, June has always been the time for reveals and trailers and stuff. So to me, it kind of makes sense, especially given Nintendo's more or less one big release a month cadence that they've had with the Switch.
Yeah. So keeping that in mind and looking forward to the general show, the general Direct being basically July at this point, just super far out there. The main conversations I've seen surrounding that are June 29th in Japan is an investors meeting, so going to be getting like sales reports and stuff like that, and people were saying that that's a reason to be speculative of this date. But 29th here will be the 30th there, so I think that is good enough of an excuse. And the other question I have is, as a Pokemon fan, and with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet having their very weird, should have probably been a Pokemon Presents based off the timing, but just a trailer drop during the Summer Game Fest season. Uh, do we think that later direct means there is still room for maybe a more in-depth Pokemon Presents before then about Scarlet and Violet?
I think it's not, maybe not. I don't think it's something separate. I think it's a shorter trailer that's within the direct itself.
Sure.
Especially if, I mean, looking at this holiday lineup, I mean, Pokemon always has been and will be Nintendo's biggest holiday thing. But I think with Zelda out of the way, the rumors about a Metroid Prime 4 or Splatoon 3 kind of sort of hitting that holiday window. I think letting Pokemon kind of come more into the Nintendo fold and having the big push that normally would be dedicated to something like, a Breath of the Wild or Breath of the Wild 2 or a big Mario game or something, getting all those resources poured into a Pokemon game I think makes sense here, especially given the timing of it. Usually when a new Pokemon generation is coming out, they like to do something about once a month, so that timing would also line up.
Yeah, Omar, do you feel the same? You think
Well,
Pokemon's gonna have a direct spotlight?
when was the that Legends like blowout? Was that like a month or two before the game came out? Like there was like kind of a more substantial look at it,
Yeah,
right?
that sounds right.
Yeah, I remember it being around New Year's.
Okay.
Whether that
Oh
was Eve
shit!
or day. So I
Because
don't know.
the game came out that month, right?
Yeah, that was like end of January. So
I wonder if like they just start doing that kind of thing with this, where like they save the bigger stuff for closer. Because like Legends seemed like it was coming in. I don't know if it was coming in hot, but it had more visible performance issues in like the showings. And it sounds like this one. I haven't seen the trailer, but I know this one might not look the most stable too. Or
It
does it
looks
look?
way better than Legends did.
Oh, did it? Okay. Then
I
yeah,
think so, at least. But
then yeah, maybe it's just fine. I thought maybe they'd just be waiting until like it looks the best it can, and then they'd show it then. But yeah.
yeah, I think it's a tricky thing because like right, if you go off of patterns, which is never a good idea to do, you would assume that maybe Pokemon wants to have their big blowout because they also haven't really announced any spin-offs for anything this year. That being said, within a calendar year we do have Legends and Scarlet and Violet, but like no focus on Unite, Masters EX, Go, nothing like that. Pokemon Sleep I don't think was canceled officially, maybe. So like there's still things that could show up. But yeah, maybe there is room now in this Nintendo Direct because Breath of the Wild 2 delayed. Breath of the Wild 2 is under a category titled The Elephants, and I think since we've already brought up two of these, three actually, why don't we just talk about them here? Breath of the Wild 2, TBD 2023. Omar, looking at this presentation, going into this presentation, when it comes to Breath of the Wild 2, what are you expecting to know and see by the time it's over?
I think we get the title
Okay.
and maybe another 2 minute trip. To be honest, I really don't want to see any more Breath of the Wild 2. I can't wait for it, but like I feel like I've seen enough at this point. But maybe I haven't. Maybe they have to show way more. But yeah, I think they can't. I think they have to show it here, right? Is there any doubt? Do you guys doubt that it'll be here? No. Okay.
I do.
All right.
I mean, I think for me, it depends on when in 2023 this game comes out. If they have it, filling that original Breath of the Wild slot, early March, kind of that early mid-spring kind of timing, I could totally see it getting a title blowout later on this year, sometime in like September, October, November direct. But to me, I think this is going to be something more akin to like, here's a sizzle reel of all the things that's happening. Blowout at you get title reveal at the Game Awards, blowout in like January, February in a direct, and then it comes out like either summer or holiday of 2023. Because I think if this is a game that's coming out early 2023, we probably would know more, I think. But I'm not sure. Like, obviously, going off of patterns and playing armchair analyst is not a good idea, especially with Nintendo. But I think with Breath of the Wild 2, I think this is something that they're like probably going to lean on as their big holiday game, especially if there's not going to be a big Pokemon game coming out next year for holiday season, or not like a bigger holiday Pokemon or a bigger Pokemon holiday game, I should say.
Man, you think Breath of the Wild 2 is gonna be like November next year potentially?
Kinda.
Fuck. Okay.
So, for me, I think you're both making valid points. Like I feel like it's probably a bad idea to show up to another E3 with just a 2-minute trailer and like, oh, what's that thing? You know, like, and if there is going to be a treehouse at this hypothetical direct, I think that'd also be a very interesting place to show off Pokemon, considering that is this year. They do like showing extensive Pokemon demos in Treehouse. And I wouldn't rule out the possibility of like a September direct is when we get what some people are hoping to see from Breath of the Wild at this summer direct, and still maybe making it out by March, because I think that's enough of a lead time where you go in September, here's like a 7-minute thing in a direct, we're showing gameplay, we're showing the hook, we get the title, it's a spoiler, people can figure it out, and then maybe like a launch trailer or something, like a big hype trailer like that 2017 Switch event one at Keighley, and then you launch it in March. Like, and if
I mean, that's about half a year, so
yeah,
I mean, it lines up.
And if there is hardware that's launching alongside it or something, they could have plenty of time after this showing, before the September show, or after the September show to announce that. So, yeah, Charlie, I don't
January show.
A January show even. But, like, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's no Breath of the Wild here. And Omar, I'm kind of with you. I don't really want to see more of it right now. Like,
yeah,
I can't wait. I love Breath of the Wild so much, but let some other things have a spotlight here instead of another trailer.
And I know this is jumping categories a little bit to like the likely to show the usual suspects. I think that they are going to obviously try to do some kind of make good for Zelda fans, because no Breath of the Wild 2 at this thing is a lot of people expect it, and a lot of people are going to be like, come on, Nintendo, where's my Zelda? Because they always have Zelda stuff at E3. At least it seems like the past few years they have, for sure. So to me, I feel like this is where we see some kind of HD port or remaster, or just the Wii U ports getting brought to Switch for Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. It just makes sense to me, especially, you know, given how few Wii U games are left. You know, they're shutting down the eShop, basically ending support for the Wii U. So it kind of makes sense for this to be the time for them to bring this stuff over.
Yeah, and plus I feel like we've been hearing about either the both of them or a dual pack or some sort of thing with those games almost every year for the past like 3 at this point, of like reputable people being like, I've heard about it, it's coming, it's just when, we don't know. And the conversation was always, oh, they're saving it for like a rainy year, and this is the rainy year, because I think it's been every year since the Switch came out, there's been a Zelda release, like a full price Zelda sort of thing, whether it be like Link's Awakening remake, Hyrule Warriors, there was something else recently, that second Hyrule Warriors, like, so it would make sense for Zelda to have a presence here. Twilight Princess is my favorite Zelda, personally. Nostalgia's at play, but I cannot wait to revisit it on my Switch. So yeah, I'd be super excited to see that here. But Omar, do you expect the 2 of them, or like a collection? Like, what's your mindset going into that?
We had our yearly Zelda game, Christian, and it's Majora's Mask.
No, you're right. Good point.
Sorry. No, I think that'll be here. I don't even know if the rumors are reputable or not, but I do believe at some point, like, look, they're gonna port those games over, and this sounds like a great year to do it. Yeah.
So, now, is it just the 2 of them, or has Grezzo been behind the scenes working on bringing over those Majora?
I
and
wish.
Ocarina?
Unfortunately, Christian, those games are already available on Switch, so they don't have to do that. But yeah, no, I think it's probably just they can't put out 4 Zelda games at once, unless they could. I
They
don't
did
know.
it with Mario, so
Right, they did.
They can, but it's only going to be available for 3 months.
wait, actually, this is the 35th anniversary of Zelda, isn't it?
Is it?
I thought it was last year. Well,
Yeah, Zelda is 1987, isn't it?
was it
I don't know.
87 in America? Because I feel like last year was the anniversary talk. I could.
There was some anniversary last year. I have the Game and Watch thing.
Oh,
know
you're
about
right.
that.
You're
Yeah.
right. No, Metroid, and Mega Man, I think, are this year.
Okay, well, Metroid anniversary, Metroid Prime 4. It was announced 5 years ago as of today. So, like, I know it was rebooted a couple years along, but do we expect Prime 4 to show up at this thing?
I think
Given that announcement came like what 3.5 years ago, I think it's possible we see some kind of teaser, but I don't think we see gameplay. I think at most we see like here's here's kind of a tone piece that maybe tells you a little bit about what to expect for the plot. But I don't think we get anything beyond that. I mean, Retro Studios, we don't know what the hell they've been doing. They've just been having barbecue for 5 years or whatever. But I mean, right when Metroid Prime 4 rebooted development, I mean that's unless they started carrying over assets from the previous development, which I would be shocked if Nintendo was like, oh, let's just dump all this shit on them, just to like make it faster. That doesn't seem like that that follows in the tone with what Nintendo has been talking about with this. They're like, oh, it's not up to our creative standards. So it seems to me like they're taking it very, very, very seriously. So I would expect that they're not ready to show it, or they're not going to show it until it's very, very ready to show, like very polished. Like this game is done, but we're not releasing it yet, polished.
Yeah, because last year, they led with a similar sort of asterisk, right? They're like, hey, we're still working on Metroid Prime 4, but in the meantime, we have this other Metroid project that I'm sure you're all going to love. And then we got the Dread announcement. So, Prime Remake has been a thing that's been talked about forever, or whatever the high quality remaster is going to be. This is probably the place it shows up, right? Because, again, if we're trying to look at a fall lineup, I know Metroid isn't the big pull that some people feels it should be, but I think
it might be now.
Yeah.
People really like Dread.
I love
don't know.
Dread.
Yeah, Dread was great.
It's really good.
I also think if it's a remake of Prime 1, I mean, that game is easier and more approachable than 2D Metroid, I would say. And I think it has, it's a first-person shooter. It's more, to me at least, it's more marketable. So I could totally see this being a thing that shows
It's
up.
a Halo killer.
Yeah.
Was that a thing that people called it back in the day?
I don't think so, but let's start calling it that though.
No, but
All right,
imagine
Halo
like
Killer.
you can do the Master Chief sort of thing where it pans between the original and the remake. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
that would be amazing. That's my kind of dream remake. Blue Point, take note. I want that.
So, if not Prime 4 for this year, maybe a Metroid Prime 1 touch up and trailer.
I think my hopes and dreams for are kind of high, and I feel like if we see it now, it might not be exactly what I want to see.
Yeah.
I could also see this being
Personally.
like a Zelda situation too, where they like, I'm forgetting what they did exactly with Breath of the Wild 2, but I remember a showcase. Oh no, I think it was last E3 where they were like, here's some Breath of the Wild 2 stuff. We're not ready to tell you anything about that game, but we're going to show a little bit of gameplay, and then here's a bunch of other Zelda stuff. I could totally see this being the kind of thing that they do with Metroid, especially given it is the 35th anniversary. They could be like, hey, Metroid Prime 4, yes, we're working on it. Here's a little thing. Enjoy. All right, here's what Metroid stuff we can actually show you and give you this year.
Yeah, and I think another thing just to inflate that Metroid chunk of like, sorry, we don't have the big thing, but there's rumors running around. There have been for a couple months at this point that Game Boy is coming to NSO, and I know historically, and again, maybe try not to stick to patterns, but the announcements for console libraries coming to NSO have been the fall, either September or October. That's where we saw the Super Nintendo announced. That's where we saw N64 announced. But there's been a lot of back and forth on like, is the Game Boy library going to be for the standard $20 tier? And then maybe GBA gets added to the expansion pack Like, is there going to be some tier system there? Because they're kind of, I know they just released some Super Nintendo games like last night with Kirby, but like the pool is running thin. So adding on value to that $20 tier with just Game Boy, maybe they would show that at E3 because that's more applicable to a wider scale. And they, based off their meetings and investor stuff, they want to make the service more appealing. Metroid has a lot of games on the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance, so maybe they lead that if it's not a like an anniversary pack or like a limited time cartridge. It's like, hey, but this September you'll be able to play Zero Mission and Fusion and Metroid 2 on the Game Boy Color through this service, and they're all coming out the first day it launches. Maybe
yeah, and you talk about like a good like direct presentation moment. That's totally a great fake out move to be like, oh hey, GBA and Game Boy games are coming to NSO, and then they show this massive lineup, and it's all these beloved games. You got Golden Sun, you got Super Mario Advance, you got Donkey Kong 94, you got all this stuff, but no Metroid. And then the Metroid stuff happens, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, and the Metroid games are coming." That's such like an easy win. Like I could totally see that becoming this like, you know, it trends on Twitter for like the 5 minutes in between those two things happening kind of moment.
Yeah. Where's Metroid? All caps trending in the US. Number 7.
Right.
Are you did you play the other Metroids leading up to Dread? I remember I think you talked about that.
No. I dicked around with them a bit, but nah, Dread's the only one I really played and finished.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that maybe we could see something like this for an anniversary celebration beyond just a Prime Remaster, or does Metroid only get the big $60 package?
What do you mean, like a Mario 35th anniversary pack kind of thing, or like whatever?
No, more of, I guess, just of a spotlight, like trying to like make it more enticing, because like Charlie's right with like Prime being more marketable, but Dread is like the best selling in the franchise too, so it's 2D.
Right. No, but I guess Metroid specifically, I remember it always getting ignored when it was an anniversary, but maybe now it's different. That is Dread, but like I think the 30th anniversary for Metroid just came and went, and everyone was like, "Wait, what?" Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. I think we probably just get that Prime remake, and I honestly don't think they'll acknowledge that it's the anniversary personally, but yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, it's Kirby's anniversary this year. I don't know if you know about that. That's the big deal.
Is it?
Yeah.
See, you can't have 2 anniversaries in 1 year. That's messed up.
Yeah. Look at last year. What was last year? It was Zelda and Donkey Kong 40th. Yeah, Donkey Kong got nothing last year.
Wait.
Yes.
I'm wrong. Metroid was last year.
Oh, it was last year. Okay. And yeah, none of this is happening.
Sorry, everybody.
Shit.
Oh, boy.
Why did I think it was 97? Or 87? My bad.
That sounds right.
Yeah. Omar, Bayonetta. That's the other elephant in the room. You brought it up. You're a big communist stan. What's going on with Bayonetta 3?
Did you just call me a communist?
No, a Kamiya stan. Hideki Kamiya.
Oh. Yeah, okay, well, I am both. But cool, I'm very excited about... I love Bayonetta 1. I love Bayonetta 2. I don't think Kamiya is... I believe he's producing Bayonetta 3. And he didn't direct Bayonetta 2 either. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think the last trailer was a little dicey. But I'm excited that it hasn't been canceled, because for a while there I thought it probably was. And they said this year at one point, I want to say. Did they? I think they did, right? Yeah. Let's see some Bayonetta 3, and I hope it blows my socks off. It's good. I think it could happen. I think it could look amazing this time. Who knows? Let's pray. We will see Bayonetta 3 at the show. We will.
When do you think
Anyone disagree? Well, I think it comes out October. Halloween game.
Okay.
Probably. Maybe September. Something like that.
It feels like an August game to me.
Astral Chain was August.
No More Heroes 3 was August, and that's a similar, like, that's a partnership for an M-rated game. Like, I know it's just, like, I'm grasping there, but, like...
Bayonetta 2 was the last week of October, I think, but also it was a Christmas game, so...
Oh, that's fun.
You know.
Mario and Rabbids was also August.
That's true.
That's just like
Bayonetta. Supposed to come out this year, so...
Yeah.
So...
No, I think... I was going to say I think Bayonetta's a December game.
Oh, okay.
I think Bayonetta fits perfectly in that early December niche, where Nintendo likes to put out their games that maybe don't have the mainstream appeal, but are still like blockbusters.
Like Xenoblade 2 was a December game like that, right?
Yep.
Am I okay?
And Smash.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Smash is a little
Notable
different,
indie
but
games,
Smash
Smash
is a
Bros.
December game.
Yeah.
So I guess going into seeing Bayonetta 3 again, Omar, what are you like looking for? Is it mainly just a performance bump, or
Well, the combat in Bayonetta 3 so far has not looked quite as smooth as it did in the previous games to me, just from my untrained eye here. And the enemies don't look all that fun and reactive to fight in that way. It kind of looked like a hot mess last time. Not even performance wise, just the design of it didn't seem right in a way. Even Astral Chain, I thought, kind of looks like it has more of that Bayonetta energy than this one did. But who knows? Platinum works fast sometimes. Maybe the game's way different this time. I really want to be optimistic about it. I love those first two games. I love Platinum. When they're great, they're great. When they're not, I don't play them. But I like Platinum, man. I think I do.
yeah? Well, I think out of the elephants we've talked about, Bayonetta 3 is probably the most likely because that is dated for this year, and I think the last time we saw it was that re-reveal.
Yeah, like if it wasn't here, like they have to acknowledge it here. I feel like,
Yeah.
even if it's like not here, like they'll be like, sorry about that. It's delayed to next year. It'll be here.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, they also showed a decent, like, if I remember correctly, they showed a decent amount of different things going on too. It wasn't like what we've seen with something like Resident Evil 4 remake, where we've seen like 4 shots of him walking into a gate.
Right.
So I think that this is still happening this year.
The Resident Evil 4 stuff does have a very tech demo-y looking vibe to it sometimes. Like, there's that last shot of that trailer where he's like in the actual like sunny environment. Do you remember that with the non-dark? That it's like, it looks like someone just made it in Unreal Engine to me. But yeah,
Capcom, hire this man.
seriously. But yeah, do you guys think Bayonetta 3 is going to get delayed to next year, or do you think that's this year? Okay, I think it's this year too.
I'm 50-50. Because I'm with you. The last time we saw it, like I don't have a history of Bayonetta, but
Yes, you will.
yeah, it did not stand out to me last time we saw it, and I was a little concerned.
Like, it looked very gray and drab in a way that you don't want Bayonetta to look. I feel like.
Well, to keep in mind also, if I remember correctly, that trailer was also like a misdirect of like.
Yes, it was a bit of a misdirect. You're right.
So maybe that's just like one area, and then the rest of the game.
But at some point, they cut. You could have gone phone with it, you know.
That's fair. That's a good point. So, out of what's like scaling down, and then we'll end with like a big what could be here because we always like to dream for Nintendo. I'll run through quickly the things that are probably going to be here. If you disagree that it might not show up, let me know. But we got Sunbreak. That would be launching the day after the supposed direct date. Xenoblade 3 is launching a month after the direct. Splatoon 3, September 9th. And then I listed this here too, Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp. That's still up in the air. Last time I checked, there's still a war going on, and that was Nintendo's reasoning, so I don't think anything's changed significantly that would make them walk that back.
I don't see it showing up here. I think if Nintendo is going to take this approach with that game, where they're saying, "Oh, we're not going to market this game, we're not going to put it out because of these things happening," I think it would be just completely out of like a complete tonal shift based on everything else that they've said to just randomly show Advance Wars at this direct, unless it's like. I can't even imagine like if they do like a Nintendo or a Super Nintendo version of like Mortal Kombat to it, where it's like, oh, instead of guns now they all have swords or something, which isn't going to happen. They're not going to do that. It's a remake.
Yeah.
So I don't see this showing up. I think Advance Wars is not gonna make an appearance.
Unless, what if? Listen to this. What if they reskinned it as a Fire Emblem game?
I mean,
What?
I think, Charlie, you brought up the niche December game, right? I think initially Advance Wars Reboot Camp was set to be last December, and then they had to delay it. So, like, maybe that's what they're eyeing at the moment and hoping that just the state of the world changes by the end of the year to a point where they feel comfortable going back on that. But, yeah, I'm with you. I don't think it shows here, personally.
I think if we're gonna get any like kind of strategy game make an appearance, we're probably gonna get the Front Mission remake showing up and a release date for that, if anything.
I think Christian thought you were going to say Fire Emblem.
Yeah, I was like, oh, baby, let's get into it. Let's get into it.
I've heard people mention these rumors. I have not seen the rumors, and I'm so confused. I've like scoured Twitter. I've looked all over the place, listened to a bunch of different podcasts. I'm like, oh, everyone's saying, oh, these Fire Emblem rumors. You know, what are you gonna do about Fire Emblem? What's the Fire Emblem game gonna be? But I don't actually know what the rumor is.
Okay,
I'm very confused about it.
I can provide some context.
Okay.
So, are you familiar with Nate Drake, Nate the Hate?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So I believe he is the source of the Fire Emblem rumor because leading up to the initial direct for this year, he said, I think it's very likely we're going to see the next mainline Fire Emblem game. It's not a remake. It's got a weird twist to it, but people will probably enjoy it. And then when the direct came out and then it opened with Fire Emblem, but it was Warriors, everybody was like, you said... And then he was like, this isn't the one I was talking about, and there's still one on track for this year. And that's where it ended. And I think he's brought up Fire Emblem since then, just of like that, yeah, Warriors is not the one that I heard about. It's not that. So mainline Fire Emblem, I don't believe Intelligent Systems led Three Houses. That was like mostly Koei Tecmo. So yeah, if we do see a Fire Emblem this year, I would imagine it is the next Intelligent Systems full-blown Fire Emblem game. And I hope it's here, personally.
I mean, I don't know how they work, but also, like, I thought the story was, like, they were working on... They didn't do all that work on Three Houses because they're also working on, like, Paper Mario, right? Yeah. Wasn't that full then?
Mm-hmm. And Paper Mario was 2019 or 2020?
2020, I think.
Okay. So... Yeah, I mean...
I would assume they would keep that Koei Tecmo collab going, though.
That's what I was going to say.
Unless maybe they're also doing that, and that's a later thing. But I don't know.
Yeah. Like, if Intelligent System is leading this one, and then, like, they have Koei Tecmo on as support, there's also, in addition to the mainline rumor of another remake of, I think, Genealogy of the Holy War, which was another, like, one we never got here. I don't know who'd be on that project, but... Yeah, I'm hungry for a new Fire Emblem, and I would absolutely adore if that was like a November game or October this year, because I'm so desperate. I've reached back to the 3DS, and I'm playing through Shadows of Valentia right now, so like I'm ready. I'm good.
I hope you like Midnight Suns.
Oh yeah,
me too.
This could be game of the year, baby.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for Midnight Suns.
Well, hey, that's not on the dock, but there's rumblings that Switch version got canceled. I don't know if there's an update on that, but...
maybe Jake Solomon comes here to announce that.
I think that's a cloud version. That's a shoe-in to get a cloud port. I think... Well, I'm not sure, because that engine that they're using, is it Unreal?
I assume it's the same tech... Yeah, XCOM 2 was Unreal.
If it's Unreal, then I could see it working on Switch, because Unreal, from what I know, scales pretty relatively well, at least.
I'll say, as someone with some experience of XCOM 2 on Switch, it sucks. So I guess I'd hope it's the cloud version, or they just don't put it on, or maybe they optimized it better. Who knows? But yeah.
So, out of the other... These are probably going to show up here. Is there one that you guys are looking forward to, or do you think you just want to like get through those, put them in a montage or something, and save the real estate for the more exciting stuff?
I think it depends on the timing for this direct, because if this direct happens earlier than people think, I could see the Neon Whites, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, the stuff that's showing up on Switch, but maybe not necessarily... requisite of anything beyond what's already been showing up in a sizzle reel alongside some of this stuff. I think Live Alive is another good candidate for showing up in something like a sizzle reel, because they've shown like a trailer or two, and I think that game doesn't need a whole lot more explanation. And I think the same can be said about a lot of the games that are more or less guaranteed to show up.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
I think we also get a separate sizzle reel for DLC stuff.
Yeah, because most of the things Nintendo has launched this year uh, are sort of like platform feeling games at this point in terms of like update schedules, not like a platformer type thing, but like
Mhm.
um, beginning of the year we had the announcement and release of the first booster course pack. I forget if somebody figured out the cadence of what it should be to end on track, but I imagine it's probably one a quarter, and it feels like we're probably due for another booster course drop. And I imagine that would show up here and be a it's out after the show sort of announcement because everybody loves those, and I'm sure they want reasons to promote the expansion pack. But
Yeah, I'm surprised it's not out yet, to be honest.
yeah,
Because like they have so many courses to put out. The cadence must ramp up at some point. No, I
yeah.
don't know.
I just assumed they were waiting to drop the second one with their show, but I thought that was going to be earlier June when
Hmm.
the first one dropped. So there's also
They need to add value to my subscription, and they should do it sooner rather than later.
what if?
I,
Oh, go
correct
ahead.
me if I'm wrong, but it's the same amount of same amount of courses as there are in the original Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, right?
Yep.
Is it not even more, or was it?
I think it's more than the original Mario Kart 8, but with the
But not
DLC
deluxe.
included, it's
I
the
see.
same
I see.
amount.
I got you.
Because I think if it's one a quarter and it goes all the way through to the end of 2023, and that started in at the very beginning of 2022, I think one a quarter makes total sense.
Yeah. And maybe like
It's
a little wiggle room here or there, if something gets pushed. But like, yeah, I think that's
Mhm.
probably likely. So there's also Switch Sports. I keep going to say Wii Sports, Switch Sports, and Mario Strikers, both games that have released relatively recently. That again, I don't think they'd spend too much time on, so maybe montage is correct. But both of those games, based off of conversations I've had with people who are playing them, as somebody who's been playing Battle League, I'd be open to hear about future content because it's already been promised. So
Hmm.
probably character or
Yeah,
something.
and for Switch Sports, I mean they've already kind of outlined what's going to be added to the game. I could totally see golf being another shadow drop in the same vein as a Mario Kart, because I think I think they specifically said golf was coming this summer. I could be wrong about that, but if I remember correctly, in the direct they were like, "Oh, here's Switch Sports. Here's all the games we're putting out right now. Golf is coming sometime this summer or later this year." And then something else was happening in the fall.
Yeah, I remember them putting a season on it as their window, but I
Mhm.
don't remember if it was summer or fall. So yeah, Charlie, I know you said you were working on a review for Battle League right now. Do you think there's any substantial content that they could bring? I know the big conversation right now is like, why can you not do four-player online co-op? And this is pre-season launching, so maybe that's going to be a
Mhm.
ranked thing. But yeah,
Yeah, I could see that kind of thing showing up. I mean, I haven't had a ton of time to like get really into the multiplayer stuff because I've been at a hotel for most of the last weekend.
fair.
So I've fiddled around with the base game. I think just like golf, just like tennis, we're going to get some kind of character inclusion. I don't know who exactly that's going to be, but I mean, there's so many Mario characters that show up in these sports games that it could be anyone. Um,
It's
honestly, it could like looking at Dr. Mario World, it could be Goomba Stack. I really
Monty
don't know.
Mole.
Right, like they're gonna pull from a pretty deep catalog of characters until the next Mario Sports game releases or gets revealed. I have a feeling. So I think character stuff and online play stuff is going to be the big focus because there's not a whole lot else for them to update. So unless it's the tutorial, I could see them like tweaking or retooling the tutorial in some way to make it more approachable. But I don't really think that qualifies as like a big content DLC update.
That's a tweet
Yeah.
right there. Omar, did you play Switch Sports? Because I know you, for the Joy-Clicks Hall of Game, you brought and inducted Wii Sports. So,
is the greatest game of all time. But no, I haven't played any Switch Sports yet. I need friends, Christian. I just got a copy of it. It was $40 on Amazon. But yeah, I haven't played it yet. Actually, I did. There was this weird bar thing. This barcade thing had a bowling setup, and I did that for a bit. It's very hard to get strikes, but if you curve your wrist just right as you let it go, I got a pretty good routine with it. So that was fun. But yeah, I'm looking forward to golf, I suppose.
Omar, did you get to
guys?
play the online bowling at all?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Have you?
Yes.
Okay.
It's
Should we
really
add
fun.
switch codes and compete?
Yes, I would be down. It's like Fortnite Wii Sports bowling. It's super fun. It's awesome. I love it.
I think the only other thing that maybe has a chance for this year to show up, and I could also see slip, is Mario and Rabbids. I know.
Sorry about that. I got a pizza.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, you guys want to see it?
Hell yeah, dude.
It's a pepperoni brick iron. I'm fucking excited. Sorry, you go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt. Fortnite bowling sounds cool. Y'all might have to eat this a little bit while we talk.
Go for it, man. It's late night
All right,
vibes.
thanks.
I didn't play Mario and Rabbids. Again, I like strategy games, but it's one I missed on. I can't say I love what I've seen of this new one as an outsider, but maybe this shows up here. I know it's slated for 2022. There's no Ubisoft event coming up anytime soon. Does this slip? Is this their Mario game for the year? Or is there something else?
What if it's the movie tie-in, dude? What if it gets delayed to March? Like, could it? I hope not. Charlie's thinking no. Okay.
I don't think so. I think this is coming out this year. It got shown off a pretty long time ago. Didn't it get shown off like 2 years ago at this
I
point?
think so, yeah.
And we saw gameplay at the reveal. And so unless it's getting like a pretty serious overhaul, because we saw a bunch of different areas, we saw cutscenes from the game, I would be very surprised if this isn't it's been in like balancing, patching kind of hell for like the past 2 years, and it's finally ready to release now that it's ready for prime time, balanced, not riddled with combat breaking bugs. But as someone who did play the first one and has played a few of the major strategy games that have come out since then, aside from Fire Emblem, because I have not played a Fire Emblem game, I think that the changes that it's introducing are really good. Gears Tactics is a game that I think it has a lot of similarities to in terms of what it's evolving in the strategy game formula. It's getting rid of the grid. It's changing, like, just especially like the movement and range stuff, I think is really key here. To me, at least, Gears Tactics introduced a lot of great changes to gameplay, and all of its problems were on the structure end. And so, if Mario and Rabbids kind of draws from these small but ultimately like impactful improvements, the same way that Gears Tactics did, I could see this being like a really, really solid improvement overall. I also did just play the Donkey Kong DLC for Mario and Rabbids like a month and a half, 2 months ago, and I really like that. I think I liked it more than the base game, so I could totally see the developers, even from main game to DLC, learning from the critiques and stuff that a lot of people have had. So I'm really excited to see what this sequel looks like.
Okay, you've convinced me. I think it might actually have a shot of probably having a spotlight. Honestly, if it is one of the only other confirmed games for the calendar year, and considering that Ubisoft and Nintendo partnership is very successful on the Switch, completely kind of carried Starlink as far as I know. It probably makes sense to have a good showing, and probably.
Are we going to see Just Dance?
Ooh.
Do they show that off when it's not a Ubisoft like fucking mess on stage?
I think it's been in a couple scissor reels in Direct's past.
I miss the Ubisoft shows where those guys would like come out with like ray guns and like big panda costumes and everything like that.
Yeah.
Jason Derulo.
Yeah.
He was there once.
What a time.
Yeah. I miss E3.
I do too. So that's kind of everything I think is like likely, and not necessarily like the boring stuff, but like if you're making a bingo card and you put everything on that we've said, you're probably gonna get a bingo. That's what you do in bingo, right? You gotta say you got a bingo. You're probably in for a safe bet there. There's other things floating around that I feel like have either been floating around forever or in our hearts. Charlie, you did mention the Donkey Kong DLC for Mario and Rabbids. I am a big fan of Donkey Kong 64. So is that 3D Donkey Kong game real or not? We're going to decide right now. Is it real or is it
Was-
showing up? I gotta know.
Was it a 3D Donkey Kong game that was rumored?
So
It was like I thought it was just
Yeah.
a EAD, the Donkey Kong project, right? That's all we know.
Mhm.
Or
Because I, if I remember correctly, I thought it was the same people who worked on Donkey Konga making something that wasn't a country game or a Donkey Konga game.
yes. So it was going back and forth. I think the initial time we heard about it, it said 3D, and it was like, oh, this is what the Odyssey team is doing, and then it changed a little bit over time because I think it was rumored to be the September 2020 direct when that first thing popped up of like 3D DK. Then throughout all of last year, it did shift to primarily return every time the rumor got brought up. It's a 2D Donkey Kong game. It's not a country game. It's not retro. And if you look at what Nintendo's doing grand scheme, we got DK in that Mario movie. We got a DK expansion coming to the park in Florida. Like, Donkey Kong is maybe poised for a comeback. Is it time to see his game?
I mean, I could see them timing it in between the Mario movie and the DK movie that they announced.
Ooh, that's a good point. I forgot they announced a Donkey Kong movie. That's very there. It's very cool. But
did they do that?
Yeah. Seth
forgot
Rogen is
that.
getting his own Donkey Kong movie.
that's
Wow,
great.
look at that. That's crazy. Is this leading towards Smash Bros?
It has to. It has to.
Okay. All right. Word.
Omar, where are you at with the Donkey Kong rumors?
I think it's real, and I think it's this year because my fantasy critic depends on it, and I don't know. It's been too long. Make a new one of those. The 3D Donkey Kong thing, especially if I don't know what the Mario team's doing. I just believe it. I don't know. It's completely irrational, but I have faith.
I mean, speaking of Mario, we did say like maybe whatever Mario game is out this year, maybe it is the Rabbids game they position as this year's big Mario title. Do we think that we see a new Mario at this direct, whether it be 2D or 3D?
What if the Donkey Kong game is the movie tie-in game?
Seth Rogen in
Like,
it?
he's a big part of the movie, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, maybe Seth Rogen's in it. I don't know.
Listen, I like Seth Rogen a lot. I'd be kind of cool with it if he was the new voice of Donkey Kong in the game.
I would be too.
That would be insane.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that would do to Smash. I mean, like, just like Smash, Mario Kart, like the things that would change would have such just bizarre ripple effects on like internet culture itself.
The last time.
I already go on TikTok and see people talking about Mario Kart all the time. I can't imagine what it would do if Seth Rogen were in Mario Kart.
I feel like that would be the first time they've been able to have just like implications out of a direct since like the Toadette Peachette thing.
Oh my god. Jesus, what a time.
Yeah. So we're feeling no Mario though, like no Odyssey 2, no 2D Mario.
I think Zelda's more likely than Mario, personally.
Okay.
I do feel like Mario time has to be approaching at some point, though. Like,
Probably.
yeah.
You'd think.
It, I need. It's been a long time. I mean, we got that. Was that last year? We got that Bowser's Fury.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But that that wasn't the big course. That wasn't a meal. Where's the Odyssey 2? I don't know.
I mean,
Something.
Galaxy 3.
Galaxy 3? Honestly, a new Super Mario Bros. That doesn't do that art style, like a reboot of that side scroller thing. I would love to see that. I feel like it's time, but I don't
Yeah.
know if it's here.
Switch has only had the port of New Super Mario
The
Bros.
port,
U
and they had Mario Maker 2, I
2.
suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, that doesn't count. I don't know.
Yeah. Like 2D Mario sells very, very well.
Very well. Like that New Super Mario Bros. Wii was like one of the biggest games for that platform, right?
Yeah. So like
And for honestly, that could be a really great movie tie-in game too. I don't know if the movie tie-in thing is something I should be thinking about or not, but I feel like that'd be a big deal if they could have another big side scroller success like that when that movie's out or the time.
I don't think we get a movie tie-in game as we know it. I don't think Nintendo would want to or really care about that, honestly. I like, obviously this isn't me saying that we won't get a Mario game coming out around the same time as the movie,
I don't mean
'cause I think
necessarily like
that's likely. But
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not like it's
okay,
following the same plot, but like like a movie launch kind of thing.
Yeah, like
But
how people are saying like, oh, the Last of Us remake is only going to come out when the show's about to come out. It's like, well, it's the synergy. It's not necessary. It's like I'm not
Right.
expecting Chris Pratt and Frank Azaria to be in this like Mario game that's going to be coming out around the same time, right? So
it'd be so fucked up if Chris Pratt takes Charles Martinet's job. Like, that'd be horrible.
oof.
Hopefully never.
But yeah, I think a return to 2D Mario makes sense if you're gonna like ship something alongside the movie, and if they do feel like talking about first half of next year, I think it would probably make sense for 2D Mario. Maybe I think we'll get a 2D Mario before we get the next Odyssey 2 or whatever the 3D Mario follow up is. Personally, so Omar, I'm gonna throw to you any rumors circulating, any things that have faded away that your heart just hopes is real.
There's one, Christian. I
Let's hear
love
it.
high speed racing, and I love Fox McCloud. Where's Star Fox Grand Prix?
Where is it?
I don't know. I don't believe that one. Rumors. Is this like a Nintendo game I should be thinking of? Something insane.
Something tied to
Or like-
Nintendo. It doesn't have to be first party.
All right, I'm just gonna say a bunch here right now. I want Sakurai to be making Kid Icarus 2, or a port of the other one, or I want it to be making Smash Brothers 2, and it's a Street Fighter competitor. I think it's time. I want Sin and Punishment 3, or at least a remaster of the second one to happen. And I want those Persona games to come out on Switch as well. That's all I can think of from the top of my head. My big wants. Oh, a Devil's Third port from the Wii U. That's one of the last games we haven't got. I still haven't played it. It got really expensive. I'm curious. You know? Splatoon 3 Dream. Include the one campaign in that, maybe. I missed that one campaign. That was a good one. I think that's all I got for crazy stuff. And obviously, I always want F-Zero, but come on, that's never happening. But yeah, I'll throw it to Charlie. What do you got?
I mean, Star Fox Grand Prix. That's like my new Metroid Dread.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounded cool.
I would love for that to have been real and for that to be a thing that comes out. I love F-Zero. I love Star Fox. I can't get enough of either. And considering the series have canonically crossed over, there is no reason why they should not do so again. Not just in Smash, but at the end of the Star Fox DS game. Fox and Falco retire from fighting crime and start racing and become friends with Captain Falcon, which I would love. That's honestly like the big thing that stuff like F-Zero for me, Persona, like Omar said, would be really, really fun to see. Although honestly, I do think it is really funny that if the Persona 5 port beggars for Switch never get their wish, but it ends up on Xbox and PC, I think that would be a really, really cruel but hilarious form of poetic justice. As much as I would love to see Persona 5 on Switch, honestly, I with Nintendo, I'm really always excited for the things I don't know about. A new Mario, a new Donkey Kong, a new anything really with them is what's most exciting for me. I'm really trying to think. I feel like most of the stuff that Nintendo can and often does show off that isn't like super predictable is the most exciting for me. Everybody's 1-2 switch, I think, could be really, really funny to show off, even if it's just because it looks awful, like the rumors are stating. Mentioned this earlier, Front Mission, any kind of strategy game that isn't like a Fire Emblem where they go into a thing. I prefer my strategy games to happen in the overworld. Anything like that, I'm instantly in. I'm trying to think. I had something and it's completely gone. But yeah, anything unexpected from Nintendo is always the 3D action game remake that we don't know what it is that they're partnering with Bandai Namco for.
So do you have a theory about what it is? Like a hope?
I really hope it's a Kid Icarus game. I really, really hope it's Kid Icarus. I mean, Kid Icarus Uprising, I think, is my favorite 3DS game. And it's so good. It's well written. There's a great multiplayer mode attached to that. super easy to flesh out even more, attach that to NSO. There's so much there that doesn't just make sense from a developmental and a just like a critical standpoint for me, that it just feels like it belongs.
Mm-hmm.
So
So I'll start with the Bandai Namco thing, right? Because I remembered that rumor after we started recording. Uh, from the second that rumor popped up, my head went to Star Fox because Nintendo and Bandai Namco, they've worked together on a bunch of things, but in the GameCube days, they made this little gem called Star Fox Assault that was basically like Star Wars Battlefront, like the original one. You could fight like land, air, boots on the ground. Had really fun, at least at the time when I played with my brother, like split screen multiplayer. Um, and considering Star Fox is in that really weird void right now where like I feel like people have started to come around on Zero, being like, if they fix the controls, it actually would be a good game.
mhm.
But there's also that conversation I've also heard people talk about of like, how do you position Star Fox to be a full price game today if it's like what people actually want it to be? So maybe that 3D action game remake is the Star Fox game that has 3D action roots, which is Assault, because you have the ability to position that as an online multiplayer thing. It's a classic Star Fox campaign. I think it's like one of the only sequels to Star Fox 64, if I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, I think Star Fox has a chance of coming back any year. Is as good as any. But my dream would be if it was through a Star Fox Grand Prix, because that was the coolest rumor that has ever come out, I think, of the last decade. Uh, and since there's no
I
Mario
think.
Kart anytime soon, maybe it is time. Maybe it is real.
May I interject or
Yeah.
interrupt? I feel like Namco and Nintendo, the only time they work together these days was Smash Bros, right? Or was there other stuff going on?
I think they've helped with the sports games.
Oh, okay.
They were
For
on
them.
Prime 4 also before they got
They were, and they were
swapped.
like
Uh,
rumored to be working on a.
was that
Sorry.
confirmed? I thought it was like a rumor
I think
that
it
they
was
were on.
confirmed. I,
was
feel like they said it
confirmed.
because we knew it wasn't retro for a long time, like since they
Yeah.
announced it.
Yeah,
So I think they said it.
because
But
I remember specifically they said like we're taking it internal and then it went to retro. So
yeah.
the rumor that it was an external partner was I think Bandai. So I don't know if that was
See-
ever official, but I think it was like all but official.
I think Sakurai likes working with Namco. I think it's Kid Icarus. That's what I think.
He's earned it.
He has.
So
He has confirmed he's been working on his next project for like, I think he confirmed that like a year and a half ago, maybe. So
He works fast.
he, yeah.
so
He works
Omar,
hard.
in that scenario, then would you think that Sakurai's working on Kid Icarus 2 and then Bandai's taking care of this remake of a 3D action game being Uprising?
He might be going all in on it. I don't really know, to be honest. Who knows if it's a bit more of an ambitious remake too, rather than because remaking or you can't really remaster a 3DS game, right? Like, I guess you could, but
Switch has some, I think.
like Mitomo, right? Or like
One of them, yeah.
or I mean, I think Kid Icarus will look great like on the 3DS emulator, but I assume if he might want to make it a bit more of a showcase kind of thing. So maybe it's a bit more of hands-on remake. I don't know, but yeah, no, it'd be awesome if we get Icarus 2. What's up?
Speaking of Mitomo, I could totally see any of those other Me games showing up, like Tomodachi Life or whatever.
That'd be awesome.
Because it seems like, and I know nothing about game development, so take what I'm about to say with that in mind. But isn't that kind of don't Mitomo and Tomodachi Life basically function on the same framework?
I'm not sure. They definitely look pretty familiar.
Because I feel like
think-
that's like if
Yeah.
one is easy to if one is something that they can do, I could totally see the other being something that they would do.
Totally, and I feel like the time for Tomodachi Life is greater than ever with everyone like getting so much enjoyment out of funny voices on TikTok. Like I think Tomodachi Life would like blow the hell up if they brought it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And I mean, in addition to the other 3DS games that they could bring over, like I know we talked about Metroid earlier, but people have wanted Metroid, Samus Returns port on Switch. I could maybe see Grezzo be working on some 3DS port or like a new game based off of like I think a really cool thing for Grezza would be, since they have such a familiarity with the 3D Zelda assets of Ocarina and Majora, just like make their own 3D Zelda, because we're probably not going to get an original one anytime soon. And
Hmm.
they're talented. They make some good playing Zelda games that I've played at least. So I'd be super down to see them have an original Zelda project if it's not like a Link Between Worlds port or something like that from them.
That could be cool to see Zelda get like a third kind of avenue.
Yeah, that'd be very cool. But is there anything that we haven't said going into this?
Well, Christian, I kind of interrupted you. Was there any more like big ideas you had after the you mentioned the Namco stuff?
I mean,
Any big hopes and wants?
not particularly, right? Because like going into this Nintendo Direct after this not E3 week, my expectations were already low, and I think now they're lower. Where if I just get a Fire Emblem game, I'm gonna be over the moon. That's it. That's all I need.
How about Final Fantasy Tactics?
I would also take that. I would also take Tactics. That would be excellent. Just anything like that, one of those two, and something cool and surprising like Donkey Kong, or I don't know, just some fun collection or new take on a franchise that's been away for a while that I haven't played. Like just something new and exciting to leave this Direct being like, I couldn't have even thought of that going in, because I definitely didn't think of Metroid Dread going into last year. You know, like something fun.
I did, Christian.
I did too.
Sorry.
That was rumored, wasn't it? Was that?
It was
Metroid
rumored, I
5?
think, yeah.
Guy, it was one of those ones where it was rumored, but it was like from people who weren't the most trustworthy, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, we heard rumors of Metroid and Paper Mario." So then there was questions about whether or not they just heard Paper Mario and attached Metroid to it because of the Metroid sting at the end of the Paper Mario reveal. So it was one of those ones where it's kind of up in the air.
Okay.
I think.
Was it the Zippo rumors? Was that what it was? I think at one point I think Nate the Drake hate eventually said it at one point, but it might have been closer to the show.
I was thinking about the Hot Girl Video 69 one.
Yes. Okay. Now that was a treat. Yeah, I'm not sure.
So going into this, I'm gonna imagine the Metroid Dread rumor coming true is actually Donkey Kong. So I'll give my energy towards some new Chibi Robo project. I know it's probably impossible, but why not? It's a cool idea. Do it again.
That fucking graphic with Chibi on fire. Where did that come from?
I don't know. Oh, I have no idea. Yeah, just Chibi Robo.
Make that the thumbnail for this, please.
Sure.
Thank you.
Chibi Robo's lockdown adventures. It's him taking care of a family, and it started development in 2020. It's a fun project, and it just got so expansive. It's going to be a life-changing tearjerker that everybody's got to play. Those are hot now. The take care of things in an apartment, move things around. That's Chibi Robo right there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
Nintendo gets into the dad game business.
yeah, but yeah. Unless there's anything else unsaid about expectations going into this Nintendo thing, I think we've covered a likely outcome.
What about Silksong?
That's a good point.
I think that's a shadow drop. I believe.
Whoa.
That's what my bet was going to be before it showed up at Xbox. I thought Silksong was going to shadow drop at the Direct, and I guess it still could, technically.
I think it's the reason there wasn't a date at that Xbox show is because it's shadow dropping here.
There wasn't a date. There wasn't a year. There wasn't a season. There wasn't even a window. It didn't even say coming soon. It just said day one on Game Pass. So
that's a good point.
I think that's here, and I think it's out.
Yeah, I know. I feel like there's been weird things with Nintendo in the past, where like their sizzle reels, where it's like, hey, this thing that was announced and not for Switch a month or two ago, suddenly it has a Switch date and it's coming the exact same day. We just didn't announce it back then. So like maybe I could see that that's why Persona hasn't been announced for Switch. Like maybe they just come out in the Direct and they want that to be a big moment too. Like Persona 3, 4, 5 coming to Switch.
I saw Nate, not to always call him out, but Nate the Hate said, I heard that he said today that they were planned for Switch, is what he had heard.
So yeah, maybe
and
that's just a weird thing.
I think someone talked to Eurogamer and they're totally coming to PlayStation as well. So, yeah.
well, with Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, no, oh, I was gonna change the topic. So
No,
you
no, no,
first.
no.
Okay.
Fine. I was also going to change the topic.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say we're talking about like the Xbox show kind of stuff. Like one thing I really expected at Xbox was GoldenEye, to be honest.
Mm.
Uh, is that here? I feel like it has to show up at some point, right? It seems like there's enough smoke.
It would get a bigger pop for a Nintendo Direct, I think, than an Xbox show.
Yeah,
probably.
maybe.
Well, also they're doing that extended showcase in a few days too.
Right. That could be
So
it.
that could be like a, oh, and by the way, for Game Pass subscribers, we're doing this, this, and this for some legacy titles or whatever.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
I mean,
I just want to play GoldenEye this month. Hopefully it happens.
yeah, like N64 in general, I feel like we're probably due for learning more stuff coming to that service.
Right.
I think when it was announced, somebody came out and said Perfect Dark is coming, I think. Or maybe I saw it was in that sizzle reel. I doubt it was, like when they showed just different box arts, but I think we've seen most of those box art sliders that were at the initial show released at this point. So more, maybe? A new one? New
I
update?
think another rare game is going to happen.
DK64.
You know, yeah, they could be doing like a whole Donkey Kong thing. You know, they could have like Donkey Kong 3D again, Donkey Kong 64, and then like some kind of like they could even do like a Donkey Kong focused DLC thing for Mario Kart 8.
I would weep. I would be so happy.
Because there are so many Donkey Kong courses in Mario Kart. And they could, you know, I mean, I don't think those were in the leak / data mine, but it's Nintendo. They pull things out of their ass all the time. So who knows?
That's a very good point. Like Diddy Kong Racing, I think is an option too, maybe for
Yeah.
N64. I saw you added Banjo Tooie, like, because Yui's on there. There's nothing stopping him from putting Tooie there. But yeah, if this is the show, I think it'd still be pretty good, even if it is like just the likely stuff we went over and maybe like one of these very special hopes and dreams. I would be happy with it, and
Yeah.
maybe they'd save the season again like they did last year. I thought the Direct was the best show of last year, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Was there a big announcement of that last direct? I can't remember. Anything cool?
Metroid.
Right. Yeah, no, that was great. Yeah.
Advance Wars, the Zelda gameplay, that was pretty big.
WarioWare.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right.
That was last
WarioWare
year.
was, yeah.
No, you guys are right.
Well, they had a lot of like high to mid tier announcements at last year's show, and I think that this is going to be another one of those, just given the state of development, the state of the world, and also I think they don't want to. I don't see Nintendo having 2 to 3 massive titles that would theoretically be tentpoles for a holiday season or for a year leading a direct. I don't think we see a Zelda, a Metroid Prime 4, and a Mario. I think at best we see 2 of those, but I couldn't say.
I mean, to be honest, I think that's more exciting because I like the whole promise with the Switch was like, oh, it's all the devs, it's the mobile, the handheld team, and it's the local team, and if some of them are working on those weirder IP, like if we get a bunch of new announcements that are on the level of like a WarioWare and a new Metroid and
a new Dr. Mario.
Yeah, like anything on that level would be super cool, because if Nintendo reaches back into that like mid to high tier level of IP, what's left on the table? It's Star Fox, it's like Chibi Robo, it's maybe Rhythm Heaven, it's stuff like that I feel like would
Dude, Rhythm Heaven would be great.
very exciting to see.
Yeah.
You know? And that could fill time. And I think that's what they need right now. So I think that'll do it though. That's our prediction special. So thank you both for joining so much. It was a blast to do this again for Nintendo's E3 showing, not E3.
Yearly tradition, it seems like.
I'm down. I
right.
have a blast doing these.
Hell yeah.
Charlie, any final words, any last minute dream you want to throw out there, and where can people find you, and what do you want to shout out?
Last minute dream that I haven't already said, Katamari Collection. I mean,
Okay.
my background. You can find me at CHAS_MKE pretty much everywhere. That's Twitch, that's Twitter, that's Instagram, that's TikTok. Otherwise, you can find me writing right now for Android Central and Paste Magazine. I have, like we talked about earlier, my review for Mario Strikers Battle League coming up. And then I also have a review for a VR game that I don't know if I can talk about coming up on Android Central this week.
Hell yeah. Omar, same questions. What's up?
Big Dream, man, you just mentioned Rhythm Heaven, and that made me go crazy. I kind of forgot about that, but it could be time. That last one was a 3DS exclusive, right? And it came out like when the Switch was out, maybe? Or was it just before the Switch?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. It was like digital only, but yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I'll just go with that. Rhythm Heaven. And yeah, you can find me here on JoyClicks doing stuff, I guess, with Christian. Yeah, Twitch channel, twitch.tv/OmsTheChef, either playing Mario or Resident Evil soon. I don't know. But yeah, that's that.
Very nice. You can find me on Twitter and TikTok at Chun2D2 for Last Minute Dream. Truthful, I'm gonna be modest this year. Fire Emblem is the only thing. That is it. Just that. It's likely. I don't care. I just want to put all the energy out there to make it happen. So yeah, that'd be very exciting. YouTube.com/joyclicks is where you watch this year's special. You can look forward to a reaction stream whenever this direct happens. I'll be there. Both of you are welcome to come by if you want to hop on a stream to do some reactions. Would love to have you. So stay tuned. Any other reactions or predictions for Summer Game Fest will be up on youtube.com/joyclicks. But that's going to do it. The Triforce has been assembled, and now it will disassemble for another calendar year. Thanks for watching.
Wait, can I end it though?
Yeah.
Check this out. Watch this. You're gonna be impressed.
Okay.
It's pizza time.
Hey.